May 29, 1914, Robert L. Mansfield is born in Deshler, Ohio. A hard working-class family, the Mansfields were known very well throughout the area. Bob's father, Perry, was the milkman in the community, establishing a good name for the Mansfields early on. Throughout his childhood, Bob worked many different jobs to help out the family, including helping his father on the milk route.
My dad was the hardest working man I know ever since he was little. He was working on farms, he was working whatever job he can get.
On April 18, 1942, Bob would be called to serve his country in World War II. A member of the 75th Infantry Division, Bob served on the front lines in England, France, Belgium, Holland, and Germany.
My dad did not like to talk about the war. I think he saw things that affected him too much, like soldiers that have died and people that he had to carry, and they were frozen solid. And stories like he strung a line from tree to tree across the road, and when the motorcycles came by, it basically decapitated them. So there's a lot of things he didn't want to talk about, but what I heard the most was his singing. He liked singing to the troops. They all sang with him. And as a matter of fact, he used to get Christmas cards every year from a guy in Chicago that said how much he enjoyed his singing.
Bob was involved in one of the most famous battles in history, the Battle of the Bulge, which was fought during one of the coldest winters in Belgium. During the battle, the United States and Germany combined suffered over 186,000 casualties, making it one of the bloodiest battles of the Second World War. Throughout his service, Bob was awarded a number of medals for his bravery, good conduct, and expert marksmanship with the rifle, machine gun, automatic rifle, carbine, and pistol. But there is one medal that is more unique, more prestigious than all the rest, the Bronze Star. The Bronze Star is awarded for outstanding acts of bravery, and it is the fourth highest combat award and the ninth highest award overall in the United States Armed Forces. However, Mansfield's Bronze Star included the Oak Leaf Cluster, which is worn for also receiving the Combat Infantryman Badge. According to the official documentation of the United States Army, under the provisions of AR 600-45, 22 September 1943, as amended and pursuant to the authority contained in Memorandum 34, Headquarters 9th United States Army, Subject, Awards and Decorations, 8 September 1944, the Bronze Star Medal is awarded to the following: Private First Class Robert L. Mansfield, Company E, 289th Infantry, for meritorious service in connection with military operations against the enemy from 26 December 1944 to 5 January 1945 in Belgium. At various times when harassing enemy fire was constantly interrupting vital communication lines, the continuity of which was an important factor in the conduct of our operations against the enemy, Private First Class Mansfield reduced delays and interruptions to a minimum under almost impossible circumstances. He located breaks, promptly repairing them despite exposure to hostile observation and intense enemy fire. His maintenance of communications between various elements of Company E resulted in the control and unity of the company while engaging the enemy on an unusually long front. The performance of duty of an exceptional high standard is highly commendable, reflecting great credit upon Private First Class Mansfield and his unit.
The mission that he completed to win the Bronze Star doesn't surprise me at all because of his character and his willingness to do whatever it takes to win the war.
After returning home from the war, Bob would marry Louise Sheely in 1946. They resided in Leipsic, Ohio, where he and Louise would go on to have 4 children and 10 grandchildren. Bob followed in his father's footsteps by becoming the milkman, retiring in 1972 after 30 years of service to the community.